All right, today we're diving into something that's really setting the stage for the future of the data center. I'm talking about the brand new VMware vSphere ESXi 9.0. We're going to break down what makes this release such a big deal, a real game changer. It all really boils down to this one big question. And if you're in IT, I bet this sounds familiar. Everyone wants more. More performance, more scale, more security. But your resources, your budget, your physical space, well, that stuff is finite. So how in the world do you meet that infinite demand? And the pressure is, well, it's immense, right? The modern data center has to juggle everything. We're talking massive AI workloads on one hand and absolutely mission-critical apps on the other. And it all has to be faster, more efficient, and just completely locked down against threats. It is a constant, crazy balancing act. So the answer here, at least according to VMware, isn't just about, throwing more hardware at the problem. It's about building on a much smarter, way more capable foundation, and that is exactly where vSphere ESXi 9.0 comes in. This isn't just another upgrade, it's really a fundamental shift in how your entire infrastructure is going to operate. Okay, so let's dig into the first big pillar here, performance and scale. And honestly, this is where things get really, really impressive, especially if you're dealing with those super demanding workloads. Yeah, just look at that number for a second. 960. That's the new maximum number of physical CPU cores that a single ESXi 9.0 host can handle. I mean, that is a huge leap forward, but a big number is just a number, right? What does it actually let you do? Well, it enables this, the Monster VM. And that's exactly what it sounds like. We're talking about one single massive virtual machine that can harness all of that power. This is built for the most demanding workloads you can imagine. We're talking training ridiculously complex AI models, chewing through huge big data analytics jobs, all of that, but without being tied to a single piece of physical hardware. Okay, so you've got these incredible core counts. Awesome. But what's the next logical bottleneck? It's always memory, right? How do you feed all those hungry cores? I mean, the traditional answer is just to buy tons of expensive RAM, but ESXi 9.0 has a much, much smarter solution. And here it is, NVMe memory tiering. The big news here is that this is now a fully supported, totally production-ready feature. The best way to think about it is like a super fast scratch pad for your server. It takes that blazing fast NVMe storage and lets it act as an extension of your system's RAM. What's the result? You can cram more VMs onto the same host and get a serious performance boost, all without having to buy more of that expensive physical memory. And you can really see the impact of this on specialized workloads, like anything using vGPUs. Look, in the past, trying to vMotion a huge graphics-intensive VM, we're talking 600 gigs plus, was stressful. It could take several minutes, and you're just hoping nothing goes wrong. Now, with ESXi 9.0, that same migration takes around 20 seconds. That is an absolute game changer for anyone in AI, ML, or VDI. It just completely changes the game. All right, let's shift gears to the next pillar, security. Because let's face it, in today's world, security can't just be something you bolt on at the end. It has to be woven right into the fabric of the hypervisor itself. And this really sums up the whole philosophy perfectly. The idea is that ESXi 9.0 is built with a security-first mindset. So the foundation itself is just inherently more secure, right from the moment you install it. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, for starters, you get modern encryption standards like TLS 1.3 built right in for secure communications. It also means it meets really strict government-grade cryptographic standards with FIPS 140-2 compliance, super important for anyone in regulated industries. And here's a big one. It automates certificate renewal across your entire fleet. This gets rid of one of the biggest sources of security holes and expensive breaches out there, simple human error. Okay, so killer performance and rock-solid security are absolutely critical. But what about the day-to-day grind of actually managing the platform? This brings us to our next big theme, just making life easier for the IT operations teams with smarter, simpler ops. I mean, let's be honest. What's the one task that every single sysadmin absolutely dreads? Yeah, it's patching. Trying to find a maintenance window, planning for all that downtime, and just that risk of something going sideways. In a world that runs 24/7, where every minute counts, that whole model is just, it's broken. This whole process should look painfully familiar to just about everyone. You schedule the downtime, you start shuffling VMs all over the place, you apply the patch, you reboot, you cross your fingers, and then you try to bring everything back online. It's disruptive, it's risky, and it just eats up so much time. Okay, so that's the old way. Now here's the new way. You patch the hypervisor while it's live. No reboots, no migrating VMs, zero scheduled downtime. This is a truly monumental shift in how we do infrastructure maintenance. It means you can keep those critical, revenue-generating services online, period. No interruption. So we've seen these incredible leaps in performance, security, and operations. But it's really important to understand that ESXi 9.0 doesn't just exist on its own in a vacuum. So let's zoom out for a second and see how it fits into the bigger picture. See? ESXi 9.0 is a core pillar of the new subscription-based VMware Cloud Foundation, which you'll hear called VCF. What that means is it's not a standalone product. It's part of a single, integrated platform that's designed to give you a consistent software-defined data center from the ground up. So why does that VCF integration actually matter to you? Well, it means you get a single pane of glass to manage the whole shebang. It means way more automation for all those day-to-day operations. And crucially, it means you get a consistent infrastructure stack, whether your workloads are running in your own data center or out in the cloud. So, if you boil it all down, the crucial point is this. ESXi 9.0 really delivers a trifecta of value. You're getting next-gen performance for your toughest applications, you're getting security that's built in from the very beginning, and you're getting dramatically simpler operations. And it's all unified under that one platform, the VMware Cloud Foundation. And really, that leaves us with one final and pretty exciting question. When your foundation, your infrastructure, is this smart, this secure, and this automated, you're not just keeping the lights on anymore. You're freed up to actually innovate, to build cool stuff. So the real question is, what will you build next?